After Caitlin Clark's injury, ticket prices have gone down 75%, which we knew would happen because if Caitlin's not there, we don't care.
Obviously, we've seen that Caitlin Clark is injured, so the get-in price for the Sky versus Fever game on June 7th was $86, literally 48 hours ago. Now it's down to $25 after it was announced that Caitlin Clark was injured. So this is a 71% drop in ticket prices just because of Caitlin Clark's injury alone.
Angel Reese just stepped into an arena so desolate you could practically hear a popcorn kernel land with a thud. Twice. No Caitlin Clark, no roaring crowd, just pure unadulterated silence. And let me tell you, Reese's reaction, it was an absolute spectacle, more unhinged than your wildest reality TV drama. What happens when the self-proclaimed queen discovers she's no longer the star of the show? Get ready, because this quiet stadium showdown is about to get way more chaotic than a forgotten fast food bag in your car. Her reaction will blow your mind.
And unfortunately, news broke that Caitlin Clark unfortunately has sustained a quad strain injury from the sound of it and is out for, it sounds like, at least 2 weeks. Justin, did you have some more info on that?
Yeah, 2 weeks that she's out with a quad strain injury. The Fever head coach, Stephanie White, this is a quote from her talking about this. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is a competitor and wants to play. Obviously, everyone wants to watch her play, but for me, it's about making sure we address this in a way that doesn't affect her long term.
Sounds totally reasonable. I think obviously she's instrumental to what that team does.
Angel Reese waltzed into that empty stadium like it was the grandest stage on earth, as if she were headlining a sold-out concert tour at Madison Square Garden. The only problem, there was no crowd, no electric buzz, and certainly no Caitlin Clark. All you could hear was the faint squeak of Miss Layups' sneakers and the distant sound of a lone security guard probably scrolling through his fantasy sports app. You could practically feel the loneliness echo every time the ball clanked off the rim. Twang, another shot bricked. Honestly, at that point, even the basketball hoop seemed ready to file a restraining order.
Caitlin Clark might be a demigorgon. I was watching the WNBA. There was nothing on the TV, so I said, why do I just support women? I'm a proud feminist anyways. It was one of the worst things I've ever watched. All I saw was straight bricks. But Caitlin Clark might be a demigorgon. That girl can hoop. I will say, Caitlin Clark, your ass need a new team. The people on your team some trash. And I know you can't even tell them that they're trash, so I might need to talk to your coach. I was watching the last 4 minutes of the game. I know y'all niggas ain't watch it, so I'm gonna explain it to y'all. Caitlin Clark had like 6 open passes to their teammates. Wide open layups. They missed every single layup. Them niggas lost the game. And for a game, Caitlin Clark had to take a 99% contested 3 because she knows she can't rely on them sorry ass niggas, so she had to shoot herself. Caitlin Clark, we gonna need to find you another team. I would say pairing you with Angel Reese would be some cinema, but if your teammates is breaking like that, your ass definitely can't be with Angel Reese. We need to pair you up with like Asia Wilson. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
It's becoming quite the struggle for the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie. She's been hyped up as the face of the entire league, yet lately, her presence feels more like an afterthought, barely registered. And before anyone jumps to defend her with the usual haters gonna hate speech, let's just be real. Nobody's shelling out their hard-earned cash for courtside seats to watch someone shoot 2 for 17 and then flex like they just discovered the cure for everything.
How do you feel about just her impact on the game, and specifically WNBA, and then their future game that they have?
With Caitlin Clark not being there for this game, it is obvious that people were not going to want to see the game without her, because it's the camaraderie. Is almost like seeing Bird against the Lakers without Magic, or Magic against Boston without Bird.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out there getting absolutely pummeled, double-teamed, hacked, shoved, tripped, maybe even pickpocketed, and who knows, perhaps a casual assault charge too. The refs? Completely oblivious. Caitlin could get rugby tackled mid-jumper, and that whistle stays holstered tighter than a Wild West sheriff's sidearm. You half expect them to call her for a foul for daring to interrupt her own mugging. This isn't basketball, folks. It's the Hunger Games WNBA edition.
This is not the time to hit the panic button, but it's time to feel concerned about the Indiana Fever. They are horrible without Caitlin Clark. They look awful. Caitlin Clark is literally the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. She makes everybody around her better. Like, Lexi Hall is literally Steve Kerr. Sophie Cunningham may be John Paxson. Aaliyah Boston might be Horace Grant. I'm dead serious, man. This team is not good without her. Kelsey Mitchell.
Yet, the instant Caitlyn touches the ball, stadiums erupt, fans come alive like it's the second coming of Steph Curry and Diana Taurasi's secret love child. People are absolutely cramming into arenas, not for the league itself, not for the WNBA logo, but solely for Clark. She's the driving force, the undeniable spectacle, a walking highlight reel with a laser-focused aim and vision sharper than your grandma after cataract surgery. So naturally, the league's brilliant strategy for growth is to completely sideline her. Pure genius. Pull her from the lineup and the arena empties faster than a dad's wallet at a Taylor Swift concert. Angel Reese can shout all she wants about being that girl, but the numbers don't lie. People are tuning in for Clark. They're buying tickets for Clark. They're finally understanding what a pick and roll is because of Clark. Reese's fans can scream into the void, but even the void is like, yeah, I'm here for Caitlyn too.
Really dig in deep. This is an athlete who has 5 million followers on social media. 5 million. And yet, only 300,000 people watch the game against Brazil. 300,000. Comparatively, the player you hate, the player you think is overrated, the player that you say is being followed by a MAGA cult and followed by a bunch of her team against Brazil drew 1.3 million viewers on television for a preseason game that they won by 64 points.
The league had a golden goose, and instead of building a proper nest, they decided to hazing it. Caitlyn gets battered every single possession, and the officials are playing blind, deaf, and entirely uninterested. It's as if they've confused her with a tackling dummy. She slams to the floor, and the referee's response is basically, well, she is tall. What's next? Calling a foul on her for being outrageously talented? Meanwhile, the double standard is screaming in plain sight. Reese can hack someone like she's splitting firewood, and she's praised for her passion. But when Clark shows any emotion, suddenly, oh no, she's too competitive. She's too fiery. She's not a team player. Please. If Caitlyn Clark so much as blinked too hard at a ref, they'd slap her with a technical foul and lecture her about sportsmanship. The audience isn't stupid, they see it. That's why they're checking the schedule and only showing up when D22's name is on the roster. Do you really think they're lining up to watch 18 missed layups and a technical foul for trash talk in the second quarter? No, they want magic, they want range, they want drama and dazzling passes, not a 2-hour brick fest followed by a post-game tweet about how no one believed in her. Reese might have the sass and the swagger, but Caitlyn's got the undeniable skill and the cold, hard proof. You can't fake court vision, and you definitely can't flex your way into becoming a franchise player. This isn't TikTok, it's professional basketball. If you can't consistently finish at the rim, maybe dial back the celebrations.
Angel Reese went on a tirade the other day, talking about how many people are now tuning in to watch women's basketball, not just because of Caitlyn Clark, but because of Angel Reese as well. Saying a lot of women have done so much for the sport, but specifically, people are watching because of me too. That's what Angel Reese said. Folks, in last video we were talking about Kennedy Carter. It was her shot. She had a shot tonight. She could have captivated whatever 50, 60, 70, maybe 100,000 people are watching that game. She could have stole the attention span.
And of all the travesties, at this point, the rim itself looks more traumatized than the opposing defense. But let's not pretend this is simply a Reese versus Clark issue. This is a profound league problem. They're actively trying to grow the game by benching the player everyone's flocking to watch. That's like launching a blockbuster movie and then cutting the lead star from the final edit. Caitlyn is the entire box office, and the WNBA is out here fumbling the popcorn. No Caitlyn Clark, no crowd, no electric atmosphere, no compelling reason to care. Angel Reese might be loud, but the haunting silence in that arena, that speaks of volumes louder than anything. So here we are again, watching the WNBA scratch their heads, utterly bewildered as to why nobody's tuning in, acting like someone just asked them to solve a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded. Attendance is tanking, TV ratings are lukewarm unless Caitlin Clark is on the floor, and instead of taking a hard look in the mirror, the league shrugs and decides it must be society's innate misogyny, or perhaps Mercury is in retrograde again. Meanwhile, the real reason is standing right in the paint, throwing elbows like it's an MMA cage fight. Players like Angel Reese, Brittany Griner, and Desolate Carrington are transforming the court into a scene from Fight Club. At some point, someone has to finally say it. People simply do not want to watch thuggery disguised as defense.
If you guys are taking a look at your screen, you're seeing a lot of empty seats, but folks, I don't want you to be alarmed. These are not empty seats. These are people actually dressed up as empty seats. That whole top row where you see 2 people in a section, 3 people in a section, nobody in a section, even in the middle row, you see it empty. I mean, it's just empty there. Where are all these people that Angel Reese are talking about? Where are all these people that Angel Reese is saying are coming to watch women's basketball? More specifically, because of her.
There's a clear distinction between fierce competitive aggression and reckless intent, and some of these players didn't just cross that line. They did a backflip over it, set it ablaze, and then posted it to Instagram with the caption, "Come at me." It's as if they truly believe physical violence is synonymous with good basketball. Hint, it's absolutely not. Angel Reese, for instance, roams the court with the same enraged energy as someone who just got cut off in rush hour traffic. She's constantly flexing after fouling someone, mean mugging like she's auditioning for a prison drama, and trash talking as if it's her only statistic that truly matters. There's confidence, and then there's whatever this is. Some bizarre, unsettling cocktail of arrogance, bitterness, and outright delusion. And it's not just for show either. These aren't harmless mind games. She's swinging, shoving, and hacking like the objective is to send someone to urgent care rather than simply keep them off the scoreboard. Then there's Brittany Griner. Back from her international detour, she was hailed as a hero. And sure, everyone was genuinely relieved she made it out of Russia, but since then, she's brought more raw brute force than actual basketball finesse. She's elbowing people into the next week, lumbering around the court like Godzilla in a headband, daring anyone to challenge her self-proclaimed authority in the paint. The league loves to parade her around as a symbol of resilience, but the uncomfortable truth is, watching her play sometimes feels like witnessing a WWE match that somehow forgot to end in a pin.
Carolina Fever showed up and showed out in its blowout win over the Chicago Sky. The game was filled with a bunch of drama. There was a lot of tension between Angel and Caitlin, and I'm here to tell you, Angel did speak with reporters immediately after the game. Caitlin Clark captured a triple-double. With all that being said, roll the footage.
How did you feel like you guys did in those 3 areas?
Yeah, I don't think we did them at the best that we could. Obviously, first game, we got to look back at the film and do things better. I think we definitely had good spurts where we could see that we could definitely get back and definitely rebound and definitely play in transition. So I think we'll just go back to the draw.
And Desolate Carrington, she possesses the subtlety of a bulldozer. Her entire defensive strategy seems to be cause maximum chaos and hope the refs are asleep. There's no artistry to her defense. It's just relentless, non-stop aggression. And don't for a second think it's about toughness or heart. It's not. It's entirely about intimidation, cheap shots, hard fouls, and the occasional body slam masquerading as a box out. She's not trying to stop you, she's clearly trying to hurt you. And somehow, that alarming approach is becoming the new standard in this league. Now, let's finally talk about the giant elephant in the gym, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin steps onto the court radiating a calm, poised smile, and then casually drains a 30-footer like she's just ordering a coffee. There's no manufactured drama, no scowl, no ostentatious flexing, just pure skill, pinpoint precision, incredible vision, and an undeniable sense of fun that fans genuinely love watching. She's not throwing elbows, she's throwing dimes. Her game is slick, smooth, and incredibly creative. She brings the Steph Curry style of play to a league that still seems stubbornly obsessed with Charles Oakley level roughness. And what does she get for it? She gets mugged, she gets blindsided, body checked, hip tossed, smacked in the face. Reese. And somehow, the officials act like she's completely invisible. Every time she hits the floor, the whistle remains firmly in the referee's pocket as if it owes them money. Players are out there performing jujitsu on her in transition, and the officials are just staring blankly, probably waiting for their halftime snacks. You'd get more protection walking through a haunted house blindfolded.
I might have to repeat it like 50 more times because y'all suck. Y'all talk a real big game. Y'all talk a real big game. Y'all tell us just how amazing Angel Reese is. Y'all tell us how y'all ride or die with Angel Reese. And you know what? This ain't on Angel Reese. This isn't even about Angel Reese. It's about y'all. You suck.
Seriously, y'all suck. The sheer inconsistency in officiating is beyond embarrassing. It's outright dangerous. Caitlin Clark gets hit with the kind of force that would immediately earn a flagrant 2 in the NBA, and she's just expected to get up and keep playing. No calls, no consequences. And if she dares to react, if she so much as flinches in frustration, boom, technical foul. Because, of course. Meanwhile, players like Reese can mock, scream, and gesture wildly at opponents and referees alike, and somehow consistently walk away consequence-free. The double standard is screamingly loud and proud, but the true tragedy isn't just the blatant bias, it's that the league is standing idly by and doing absolutely nothing. The WNBA desperately wants growth, it wants respect, it yearns to be seen on the same competitive level as the NBA, but it's incredibly hard to take any of that seriously when the officials are consistently missing obvious assaults, and the front office is pretending this chaos is somehow good for the game. It's not. It's objectively bad basketball, and more importantly, it's mind-numbingly boring. Fans crave talent. They want finesse. They want compelling storytelling. What they absolutely do not want is to watch a glorified slap fight in sneakers. People don't tune in to see players get jumped for simply trying to play well. They're not interested in watching another slow-motion hack job while the announcers try to pretend it was just a hard foul. It's not inspiring, it's not empowering, it's lazy, it's dangerous, and it's actively running off the very audience the league so desperately needs to keep.
Is how much this continues. Is there going to be a fall off, weeks to come? Is there going to be a fall off in the viewers weeks to come? And if it continues to make that difference in the sales and in the output of what everything the brand is doing, then it's going to raise another situation to where people got to put way more respect on Caitlin Clark's name.
What makes this entire situation even more utterly ridiculous is that Caitlin Clark isn't even the one initiating any drama. She's not calling anyone out. She's not trash talking. She's not throwing tantrums. She's just hooping. And for that, she gets clobbered and blamed all at once. Fans say she's too good. Players say she's too hyped. And commentators twist themselves into pretzels, desperately trying to explain why the undeniable MVP of the public eye is somehow a problem. Spoiler alert, she's not. She's the solution. If anything, she's single-handedly saving this league from total obscurity. Imagine a WNBA where skill genuinely mattered more than swagger, where you didn't have to risk a concussion just to get an open shot, where referees didn't need a guide dog and a pair of binoculars to call a clear foul, where the absolute best players were protected, not punished. That's the league people would gladly pay to watch. That's the league that could truly grow. That's the league Caitlin Clark could build if only the league would just let her. Instead, it seems determined to actively smother its own unprecedented success. It keeps enabling players who mistake brute force for actual talent and penalizing those who make the game beautiful. It's like having a gourmet chef in the kitchen and deliberately choosing to eat microwave nachos instead. At some critical point, someone in charge needs to finally realize that thuggery does not fill seats. Talent does. Joy does. Greatness does.
Indiana Fever ticket prices are plummeting. Since Caitlin Clark's injury and minimum 2-week absence were announced on Monday, fans are second-guessing how much they're willing to pay to go to a game. Even the get-in price to the Fever's said rivalry game dropped from $86 to $25. It's also worth noting these two road games were expected to be huge, so they were moved to bigger arenas. In fact, the NBA's largest arena in United Center. According to TickPick, the average purchase price for the 5 games until Caitlin is expected to return is down almost $60. The 5 remaining road games in June following Caitlin's expected return still have a get-in price that exceeds $100.
Right now, the WNBA looks more like a gladiator pit than a legitimate professional sports league. And while a few might cheer for the chaos, the casual fan, the crucial audience this league desperately needs, is simply changing the channel. They didn't sign up for wrestling, they came for basketball. And unless the league finally wakes up and starts actively protecting players like Clark, starts calling games with genuine integrity, and starts holding the enforcers accountable, those fans are not coming back. So don't act shocked when attendance drops. Don't feign surprise when the ratings only spike for one specific player. And please, don't clutch your pearls when people bluntly say, "I'm only watching for Caitlyn," because the rest of it, right now, isn't a game. It's a chaotic sideshow, and nobody pays premium prices to watch a train wreck on repeat.